Sality, Amiki. I was also meaning to do a few more videos in English about history and culture, scrolls and wax tablets, and I ordered some Egyptian papyrus to make these. In ancient times, before the modern design of books, people used scrolls. They carried them around in book bags, much like the students of today. The difference was that rather than multiple sheets of paper bound on one side, the scroll was a very long sheet of papyrus. And that's sticking together there. Oh, do you hear that sound? It's very musical. Smaller individual sheets could be glued together to make one longer sheet. For storage, this was rolled up, sometimes with a wooden spindle on the inside end, and sometimes it was just a long rolled sheet of paper, because the important part is the paper and not the wooden parts. But, if you want to get fancy, you'd put, I searched for door cabinet pulls, cabinet handles here. And the earliest scrolls which survive date back to around 2400 BC. They may have existed before that, but these are the oldest ones we know of. In Mesopotamia, around 3500 BC, they were using clay tablets, which were then fired like pottery. When the scroll was invented, this made books a lot more portable, more lightweight, and easier to make. However, scrolls were for writing down more important things since they were permanent. You couldn't just erase them once you've written on them. Wax tablets were used for things you didn't need to remember forever. The wax could be wiped off with your hand, or with the heated end of the stylus. I made these ones out of wood. I don't know if you can see very well. See, I bought styluses that are meant to be used for scratch art, which is also a good use for them now, but I carved up the ends here, like a chisel tip there, and then you can wipe away your words, sort of scratch them out. I mean, at some point they had metal styluses, and these would be heated on one end, and then that would also, make it a nice smooth, erasure there. Or you could just remelt the wax completely and dump it in there for a fresh start, once you've used it all up, or used it, and crumbly pieces fall off. But these would be used for making lists, writing someone a note, or by students. I wrote Mata, nomen mihi est. Papyrus sheets can be purchased online today, and you can use these to make your own scrolls, much like the ancient Romans, Greeks, and Egyptians would have used. These can be cut down and glued together until it's as long as you need it to be. You can buy them like in 8x10 or 12x16 or so, or smaller pieces, but they are shipped flat, and you can also tell which is the recto and which is the verso side. So anyway, these would be cut down and glued together as long as you need them to be, and they range from about 14 to 52 feet long when completely unrolled. A bit of extra would be left at the outer edge of the scroll to protect the parts that had been written on. And in recent bound books, it's called a flyleaf, which originally served the same purpose before books started to come with book covers, but it still remains today. And early types of glue were made from tree and plant resins, which were made for sticking things together. The oldest glue that has been found by archaeologists was about 8,000 years old. After the Roman Empire fell, they would also have used very much the same white glue that was used until modern times, made from cooking down connective tissues from animals to get collagen from them. In the 18th and 19th centuries, there were common sayings about taking horses to the glue factory, which meant they were getting old. Since around 1950, though, synthetic glues have replaced some of the glues that were made from animal parts because these were less expensive and the quality was more consistent than animal-based glues, though you can still get rabbit-based glues. I was looking at some because I was going to try some other historical painting techniques. I did some encaustic painting, and I was also going to try egg tempera. And for that, you need to pre-treat the wood, and have It's glue, like rabbit-hide glue. So I was going to do some videos on that as well, like how the things were made, what is paint, and its pigment and binders and such. The different kinds of pigments. Some of them have been dangerous, of course, and, only recently started taking lead out of paint. But I did have a tube of, it was called flake white, somewhere. Just learning prepositions and things in Latin now. Relearning because it's been so many years. And I was busy, learning living languages in the meantime. And, not that Latin has to be considered dead. But yes, goodbye, friends.